Well, I mean, the mask idea came from a series of other decisions that I made, and through my studies, it could be a really long story. And what sparked it all was this concept I came up with. I had been doing more portraits of women. I've been chasing that tail, so to speak, for a long time, trying to nail down how to really paint women. I know it's all fucking sexually metaphorical, but it's the truth. It's trying to draw the ultimate woman. So I always come up with different themes. And I always like to kind of always make sure that it's a strong woman that I like. I like to convey a strong woman, It's not just, well, these paintings right here all have to do with this show. And I used one model. Her name's Olu. And she's a belly dancer, amazing, amazing belly dancer. And I met her after I came up with this idea for a cosmic serpent conjurer dancer. The snake charmer dancer, the belly dancer, they're holding a big snake. Everybody associates it with, Britney Spears coming out with the big snake,
Salma Hayek.
Yeah, Salma Hayek. That's how I associate, Salma Hayek. So that's the inspiration, that Mayan belly dancer with the snake.
This is Japanese Human Torch, and this is a concept that I came up with, I guess, in the middle of developing the mask line with Snake. Joshua Ortega and Snake had come up with concepts together on which characters were going to be blended with which cultures.
But I wanted to incorporate the cosmic serpent theory, which goes really deep. Again, this could be a really long interview. But essentially, it talks about the origins of life, which is DNA. Snakes represent, especially double-headed, double-helix snakes represent life. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that kind of metaphysical journey into a beautiful painting of a woman dancing. And through the course of that journey of doing research for those pieces, I met this new crazy black hole singularity by the name of Joshua Ortega. And I was bouncing these ideas off him, and when I started the gallery with John Felix last year, all these series of decisions and discoveries came into this great idea. And Joshua Ortega really helped me explore it. And then one night he called me up late at night and he says, "Oh, Bite, I'm sitting here with my two little girls and they do little late night art games together." And he saw, I got a bag of superheroes' names that we wrote on paper. We put it in a bag. And I got a bag of countries. And we each pick a piece of paper out of each bag and we come up with Ethiopian Iron Man. And I was like, what? This is crazy. And he's like, I want to incorporate it with your cosmic serpent painter. And I was like, wow, really, now it becomes something different because now I'm collaborating. Now it's not just me exploring this idea visually. I'm working with this other cat who's taken the idea and now he's adopted his idea to it. So he and I explored that for weeks because we started this back in 2010 talking about this. And we explored these characters for weeks. We had 30, 40, I think maybe even close to 50 characters. I mean, there's really lots of characters to play with. And no one owns, Salish Batman, those three words. You don't own it. And it's not necessarily anything to do with Batman. It's just taking something that's familiar to hook people into this more of a complex storyline that was created. Yes, aha, see, aha,
It's my obsession with Godzilla. That's my mask back there for the show. It's childhood fixation that I've not been able to shake somehow. It's symbolic. We were talking about the reptilian inside you, the anger or fear or aggressiveness comes from. That's the Godzilla in all of us. And I think we all have that.
Which I thought was cool. The gallery came up. I was one of the artists that was lucky enough to be in the show. I did Captain Apache, and he asked me if I'd be interested in doing a little prayer and maybe playing a guitar piece. And I jumped at the opportunity to be able to connect with everyone else on this level. So ever since then, I did the blessing, did the guitar piece, did the art piece, and I'm just happy to contribute to the greater cause.
And that's where we want to kind of create a world where we can facilitate independent economies for artists that are doing it for themselves. But kind of in a realm, again, autonomy with a direction, and the direction is story and character. because I can go the paradox of the infinite choice and go many different directions with art, but having a clear vision keeps things simpler for me, you know? It just, ADD is a motherfucker. He goes so many different directions.
That was Snakebite's idea, actually. It was something that he was bouncing off the wall. And originally it was a little bit more specific, and then it opened up to what you see now.
That was our vision from the beginning, was to always keep changing. We've changed this place around, what, 10, 20 times? And each time it gets better. So it's life-changing. Thank God for all these people.
And I looked at him, I was like, nice to meet you, man. I was like, Amitsa, it's good to meet you. And I told him that same day, I told him and John, I met John that same day, both were very welcoming, I loved the place. And I said, I was pooled here. I walked by, I almost walked past, and I had to come in.
Cool. I think everybody here, otherwise I don't think I'd be here if there was a weird vibe or anything. I think everybody here is really awesome. And it's going really well, you know, get along. So, I mean, that's the most I can ask for right now in the beginning of this relationship. So.
And I think what's amazing about this show, and any show like this where you have a platform that everyone starts with, is that you really get to see deep inside what artists have going on as individuals. When we sit next to each other in a group show like this, there's so much mutual admiration for each other's abilities and each other's thought process. It's just a great experience.
So what better direction to go with something like that but to hand it off to a bunch of different artists? So through the course of that journey, of course, you know, Digger being back in town from Hong Kong, and he and I wanting to work together, this whole show kind of became a beta test to see how many crazy motherfuckers we can put in one room with one common goal and see how much shit blows the fuck up, you know? And it really became something greater and more humbling than I could ever imagine through that. It was very much liquid, but it had a driving force, it had a direction. But it still had to stay fluid because you had all these crazy artists. But then it still had to have direction because you have all these fucking crazy artists. And you need to lead them, but give them that freedom, like I want as a crazy fucking artist. I want freedom too.
Working with Snakebite, you know, it's a dream come true, really. I mean, we've wanted to work together for eons. It's really good. It's exactly where I want to be.
Thank God for my family, Leslie. Just, I don't know what to say. You know, it's get to an interview and it just comes out, whatever the feelings, and then every event, and you just see it and feel it more and more and more.
Everybody's happy when they come.
Oh man, you go to the regular, we've gone to events, you've gone to events, and everybody's standing in the middle of the room, nobody's talking, everyone's quiet, and there's about 2-3 minutes, you go, okay, next. Here, people stay until like 3, 4, 5 in the morning. It's like, okay, everybody go home. Somebody's got to sleep. You know? I don't know. It's just a total different vibe than anything I've seen or experienced. And you just look at the pictures online, you get all the feedback from everybody, and it's all positive. It's all, you guys are doing it. You guys are doing something that needs to be done in the city. In this area, it's like creeping down, man. It's coming over here, new businesses, cool shit happening down here.
He asked me if I wanted to work on the show together and help him promote, and I've been bringing my contact base in, and it's been good times. I've watched a community build here, a very special community of artists. And after being away for 10 years in Asia, no disrespect to the artists there, but it's good to be home and with my people and exchanging again at a level that suits my appetite, if that makes any sense.
And that's what the concept was. Mask of God, 13th Sign, and Mask of God. Mask of God is like what we choose to wear in our life, how we roll, how we face everyday challenges, who we decide to be whenever there's something new in our life. Do we default and wear the same mask we wore yesterday and it didn't fucking work out?
Still here. Do something or die. And that's, I don't know what I would have done.
that why you have a smiley face on your hat?
Yes. Keep on smiling. Sense of humor, creativity, music, movies, people. You just got to keep going. You got to keep going, or roll over and die. My brother gave up, and my dad gave up. Musicians, artists, I think they're happy, but they're tormented, and you don't have a chance to say goodbye or why. They're just gone. I don't want to do that. Maybe it's out of fear, or maybe I'm scared, or I'm a coward. This shit just scares me. Like, fuck, it's just over.
Loneliness and misery? I guess. Don't we all? Isn't that how we all get into entertainment?
You are royalty.
Or do we wear a different mask and become something greater than we were yesterday?
Every single person that will ever see this, that will ever hear this message, that will ever interact with anyone who's ever drawn a breath on this planet.
And so that's what happened with I think everybody that became a part of this show immediately identified it without even knowing that part of the concept. We didn't give the artist all of that.
You're divine, you're eternal.
Because I would talk to Digger, I would talk to Josh about all this other stuff that was going on in my head and what I'm trying to plant in people's heads with, the mask and the art and the QR codes.
And that's another thing about the show. Snakebite had incorporated all these, these icons that you can scan with your iPhone or your Droid, and it takes you to a link. Like, this story is available online. A lot of people won't have time to read all the stories that are in here, right? Because there's a lot of people running around. It's opening night. The place is packed. There's a lot of celebs. Everybody's drinking. So it's just great that people can walk over to the story, scan it, take it home with them. Or any of these other icons that have different meanings for the different artists that are here.
I'm planting specific intentional shit into people's heads without necessarily preaching it, without necessarily being in your face about it.
Through the art, through the music, through the dance, through the camaraderie of everything that happened on that particular night, I could feel the effect that all of us were having on the universe. We're all coming together again.
And that was tough because through the course of sharing these ideas with the people that are immediately in my corner, it could be overwhelming to them. And it was really up to me, how do I present it in a way? Because it's got to stay simple, but I also think that people want the journey of discovery.
To be in that ethereal plane, in that world, between the worlds, felt more comfortable than coming back to our mortgages, our jobs, our bills, our distractions.
They want to find stuff, and they want to learn about new stuff, and they want to discover it for themselves and come to their own conclusions instead of being told that this is what it is. And that's Mask of God too, is that journey.
We're all asking questions. We're all finding each other again.
When you're God, and note in all the text of Mask of God, it's lowercase g. It's not a capital G. It's just a word. It's not a one thing. It's not a fiction.
So it was really, really great and comforting to know that the new tribe is building, that the new ascendancy is going, that human beings are getting better, which is really cool.
Put a capital on something, you're a fiction, So it's a lowercase g. It means something different to me than it does to you. And that's what it should do. It should mean something different.
It's cool to see that firsthand.
And that's reflected in every single mass. You got the same thing. Joseph Campbell talked about it, the same thing, and how we're all saying it differently through our personal metaphor and how we express ourselves as individuals. And that's what makes us all the masks of God.
That's good, because that's what we're doing here. We're doing it now. It's happening every day.
We're all fucking God in the sense that we wear masks every day that represent us.